All right, so in this one, we are going to add product categories as being a way for our products to actually be associated to various categories. Now, there's a couple ways on how we can do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a class called category, and it's going to be models.model. And then I'm also going to make a class called product categories, and that's also going to be models.model. So here, an individual category is going to have a title, it might have a description, it might have active, and maybe a timestamp or something like that. These are the four things that we might have. Now, product categories, on the other hand, is going to be a little different. First off, we'll have a product, and this product is going to use a one-to-one field, so models.one-to-one field. Because basically what we're doing here is we're saying one product has one product categories association, and then it's going to have categories in here. So a list of categories, so models.many-to-many field. And then we're also going to say default, so the default category would be models.foreign-key. So this is essentially allowing us to set our various categories that we want to set. So in here, this is kind of what we have to think about is like, okay, if we have product categories, this is the product and it's going to be associated to a group of categories, and then we're going to set a default category that we want. So that's essentially it, right? It's not going to be a whole lot more than that. So let's go ahead and finish off these models. We'll do title field, models.char field, max length equals to 120, null equals to true, or sorry, not null, we don't want that. We also want to do a slug field, so we'll do models.slug field, and we'll say unique equals to true. In fact, we want to have a unique title for each category as well, so unique equals to true for that as well. Then description, we'll do models.text field, and I'll say null equals to true and blank equals to true. Active, we'll do models.boolean field, default equals to true. Timestamp, models.date time field, so when it was added into the database, say auto now add equals to true, auto now equals to false. And then finally our Unicode, and we're going to return self.title. All right, so product categories here. We are going to now go in and say, just define a Unicode here. And we're going to return self.product.title. So the product one-to-one field, we want it to be associated to a product. Many-to-many field, we want it to be associated to a category. Default is also going to be a category. Cool. So we've got category, product categories. Now what we see here is, well, something that we could do with just the product itself, right? So the product itself doesn't necessarily need to have two separate models for the same thing, right? So we actually don't need this product category stuff in here. I'm actually going to add these two fields and delete this to our product directly. And then category, so we've got all this stuff ready. All right, and I'm going to get rid of these comments because we've already worked on that. So now let's go ahead and run, we're going to run our server here. We'll do python manage.py, make migrations, and we've got category is not defined. So this is happening because of these, right here and here. So if we actually put quotes on the outside of them, either single or double quotes, this will look within the same file to find category, and it does. So that not defined goes away. But now we have these like related name problems. So what we're going to do here is we're going to add a related name here, and we're going to call this default category. And default category, I'm going to give it null equals to true and blank equals to true. I don't actually care if there is a category. I still might want to show the product. It might just be uncategorized. And then the many-to-many field, it doesn't matter. It can be empty completely, but it's still there. So we could add just blank equals to true. The null part doesn't matter in many-to-many fields. All right, so let's make the migrations again. Now we made the migrations and we created the model of category. So if I do python manage.py, migrate, We now have it in there, so I'm going to go ahead and run the server. And since we have added 2 new fields into product, we need to go into our admin. And we already have product here registered, so we're going to add in category. And we'll just do admin.site.register category. All right, so let's go into our server and take a look at this. And we'll go into the admin. We have categories here now. And I'm going to say electronics. And the slug will also do electronics. And we'll just save that. So back into our products. We're going to want to put MP3 player and iPhone cover inside of electronics. So back into the admin. We have products, MP3 player. Categories is electronics. Default, I'm also going to set as electronics. So we save that. And then iPhone cover, we will put in category of electronics as well. But then I also want to put in, let's say, accessories. Put that in as the slug field as well. Hit save. Save and continue editing. So since it's the default, we also want to put it in as our regular category. Cool, so going back into our products, we'll now see the various categories. Well, we actually can't see them yet, so let's actually wrap them in. So we're going to do that in the next one, but the point here is adding in these categories into the product and associating them in some form or fashion. And then eventually what we'll do is actually have related products related to the default category. Not all of the categories, but just the default category. That's how we'll suggest related products here. Now, there's obviously ways we could do this a little bit more advanced, but we're going to leave it at just the default category that it is in. And the default is mainly being like, if it has any categories, the default is going to be the one that it's going to see. If you wanted to have like a hierarchy of categories or where it really lies in. All right, so if you have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, let's keep going.